comic book people of the world, let's talk about Injustice versus the Masters Universe issue number 4. This is published by DC Comics. For those not familiar with the Injustice universe, this universe has a very different type of Superman who's gone a bit crazy and has also taken over the world in a very dictatorship kind of role. And this version of Superman has taken over the technology of Brainiac and has also enslaved Bruce Wayne to be a part of his cause. The remaining superheroes who are the Resistance attempt to recruit new people, including those of Eternia, which is where we have the whole Masters universe versus the Injustice universe. We've led up to the point where He-Man is confronted by Superman, and He-Man is immediately blasted by Superman's heat vision. Meanwhile, back on Eternia, we have the forces of Apocalypse invading. They're attempting to breach the walls of Castle Grayskull, with the heroes of Eternia attempting to repel them. This whole issue is a huge major battle on two different fronts. We see both He-Man and Superman duke it out, physically and also verbally. He-Man reminding Superman that He-Man himself has an alternate personality known as Prince Adam, and reminding Superman that he once went by a human persona of Clark Kent. So you can see both superheroes justify why they kept their persona in the case of He-Man, or why they dropped it in the case of Superman. Back on Eternia, Darkseid does breach the walls of Castle Grayskull, where he confronts the Sorceress, and he totally defeats her, which is something that bugs the crap out of me, but I'll talk about that in a second. The wild card in this entire mix is Skeletor. This whole point, he just appears to be a defeated wizard humbled at Superman's feet. He's been working for Darkseid in secret this whole time, but obviously he had his own agenda. When he puts his plan into play, it turns out he just needed a sword of power of his own. But in this case, his sword of power is powered by the power of Shazam. And at that point, we're left to be continued on into part 5. My biggest issue with this, and it's not just this issue by itself, it's just about any incarnation that's showing the Sorceress. The Sorceress is supposed to be one of the most powerful beings of Eternia, but she's constantly defeated. In the cartoon, I don't know how she survived before He-Man came about. The 2000 series was also very similar to this, where it's like she just really depended on He-Man and she was just constantly defeated. Although in the 2000 series, I do gotta give them credit, they did make her much more of a badass, and they showed her even outside of Castle Grayskull using her abilities. Otherwise though, this is a really epic comic book series, and I'm loving the whole idea about how Superman and He-Man are duking it out with Darkseid looming in the background, and Skeletor doing his own thing as well, so it's like a four-way front. Freddie E. Williams II is the artist for this series, and I do love his art style. Some people aren't a fan of the detail that he puts into all of his characters, but I personally love it. Tim Seeley is the writer for this, and I enjoy how he has a nice mix of both the DC universe and the Masters universe, even though technically they are still part of the whole DC universe as a whole. Having this mix up with the Injustice universe, being a part of the Masters universe's alternate universe, because it's not really part of the main DC universe, because that was an established comic book line, but this universe is part of the Thundercats universe, because they had their own crossover. It's all a big timey-wimey jumbly thing. But my point is that Seeley does an excellent job of meshing them together and not giving too much spotlight to one universe, but making sure that they all have equal time. But that's my thoughts on issue number 4. Stay tuned, I'll be doing a comic book review in issue number 5 very soon. But let me go into there. Thank you guys for watching me in this video. If you haven't done it yet, check out my Patreon site, patreon.com/GeekComicGeek. You become one of my patrons, you get to see some extra pictures, videos, photo shoots, and things that I only show to patrons. Check it out when you get a chance, I'd really appreciate it. And with that, I'll join you guys in another video very soon. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'm in love with a hero. I want to see a comic book about the Sorceress and her just whipping everyone's asses. I mean, she has to be a powerful being to be the guardian of the orb of power within Castle Grayskull, and she also has a lot of magic ability to repel all of these other beings, so I would love to see her just go all out for once and have a writer who's on her side just to see what she can really do.